Hi, I'm Julie. Today I'm going to make oatmeal cookies. Everybody asks me for this recipe. It's something I picked up in the States and I've really messed around with it a bit really as the time's gone on. You can either make really soft squidgy ones like you can buy on the bakeries in the supermarket, or I prefer them a bit crispier than that. So the other thing that's really good with these is you can freeze them, and my children, they like to pull them out of the freezer frozen, and my husband did, and lunch them like that. So I'm going to give you a list of the ingredients I've got in front of me at the moment. At least they are slightly healthier because they've got oats in them, and you can add anything from chocolate in them, whichever type of chocolate, dark, milk, I suppose you could put white chocolate also. Also a favourite here is walnuts as well, so however naughty you want to be really. So I'm going to give you a list. I've just got a list here in different ways. Now, because it's an American recipe, I've been using cups, and these come in a variety of sizes from a full cup down to a quarter. But for today I can give you a mixture of the two measurements. So far I've got in here margarine. If you're going to use butter, you really need to let it go soft because it's really hard on the arms otherwise. So I've mixed that so it's really soft and quite fluffy now, just by hand really. And inside of this is 10 ounces of margarine. In American it's about 2.5 sticks, or in grams it's 250 grams. So into that, first of all you have to do is to mix in the sugars. So I've already measured the sugars. I've got in here a mixture of granulated white and also a brown sugar as well. So I've got 110 grams or 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and half a cup of granulated sugar, which is 100 grams. So that's all going to go in with my margarine here. And you really want to mix it well. It's a bit messy, so I'm just going to mix it and show you what it looks like once I've done that. The other things that's going to go into here is 1 egg, 3 cups of oats, which makes about 255 grams of oats. Also a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of vanilla, 1.5 cups of flour, just plain flour, or that is in grams, 192 grams of flour. So I think that's about it really. Let's have a look. So as you can see, the colour's changing. Because it's got the brown sugar in it, it sort of makes it like a pale golden colour. So you just want to mix that in. It's good if you want a bit of exercise with your arms, this one. Right. You want to just make sure that's all fluffy. Now into this I'm going to beat in the egg and the vanilla. So I've got 1 egg. Pop that in there now. And then also into that I'm going to add the vanilla. Now it takes a teaspoon of vanilla. This one I've got here is quite a concentrated, so I'm probably going to put about half a teaspoon of that in, I think. So that will go in there. So much nicer if you can get the real stuff rather than the flavoured sugar really. In France here, what they tend to do as well, I mean you can get the vanilla like this, but they also sell it in sachets here with in like a sugar. It's okay, but you are adding a bit more sugar as well. So that's all of my vanilla in. And we're going to mix all of that together again. This is really the simplest recipe to do for oats. I haven't met anybody yet that doesn't like this, so it does look a bit weird when you start mixing. It's the egg till you get the egg incorporated. So just keep going. I promise you the rest of it is not as hard work as this. So once that's in, nearly there. Really good mix now. This is one batch. I have made 2 or 3 before now, but you are standing out here a while with the other one. Now the oven goes on to either 375 Fahrenheit, 190 in centigrade, and I've got a fan as well, so I have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes it can get a bit warm. Right, that's mixed. So into this now, I'm going to sieve the mixture of this is the flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, salt, and the bicarbonate of soda. And that's just going to get mixed into here now. I said it was easy, didn't I? So here we go. Let's put the last few bits in. Okay, so the last bit of nutmeg sitting on the bottom there. So I'm just going to mix that together. Now, once that's done, just nice and softly, because the flour goes everywhere. Once you've mixed this in and it's incorporated, then you want to add your oats. Now I've used fine oats on this one, but you can use the larger oats as well, which I've also done. It just gives it a bit of a different texture actually. Let's have a look now. It's getting thicker as you're going along because obviously you're incorporating all the dry ingredients now. Here we go. Right. As you can see, that's all incorporated now in there. Okay, and I'm just going to pop in the oats. There we go. As I said, this is 3 cups of oats. It looks a lot of oats actually. 3 oats, and also I'm going to put chocolate in. What I did earlier is I just chunked up a ton of chocolate. This is just a bar I've done and then put into pieces. I haven't yet found the drops in France yet, though I quite like the chunkiness of the chocolate when it's been just chopped up haphazardly really. And this I put in here dark chocolate. Sort of counteracts a little bit of the sweetness of the cookie, I think, as well. So I'm just going to mix all of this together now. There we go. It does look a bit thick when you're doing this until you actually get all of the oats in. It sort of has to really mix in well. This does make your eye look a bit too nearly there. All you need then is some baking sheets with some baking sheet paper on it, and then they're not going to stick. You need a cooling rack also because you need to cool them down. Don't get worried that they're a bit soft still when they come out because they do crispen up once they've been on the cooling rack and cooled right down. The other thing this is really nice as well is ice cream. So that's a nice dessert. I'm nearly there. It's like a workout on Sunday afternoon. Here we go. So many of my French friends out here have asked me for this recipe because it's something you can't really buy in the shops here. I've not really seen them. You get some sort of cookies, but they're not the same as this. So here we go. It looks very, very thick when you see it. I'll just show you what that looks like. As you can see, it's really thick. Okay? All you need now, just put that to the side. And on there now, the baking sheet. There we go. So all I've got here is a baking sheet with some baking powder on top of that. When you put the spoonfuls on, you need to leave a little bit of a space between the two because they will spread out a bit. And you sort of think, oh, it doesn't look very much. But once they start to cook, they do spread. The wetter your mixture is, the further they'll spread too. So don't think it looks too thick. Now you can see all I've got is a dessert spoon. And I'm just going to pop on here just spoonfuls of the mixture. I must admit, I'm not really one that likes it completely round or anything. I think it adds a bit of character if it's a bit sort of uneven. And it looks more homemade, which I suppose it depends on what you like really, but for me, it just looks more interesting on the plate. So I'm going to pop these on and I'll just show you what they look like. Pop them in the oven. Depends on your oven how long you leave them in there for. Some people leave them between 10 and 11 minutes. Sometimes it can take a bit longer, depends on your oven, as I said, and you'll notice the difference. So I'll show you what that looks like anyway as it's coming out. Here we go, a bit more. Nearly there. I think at least with our daughter, if she's had these and you know they've got some oats in them, at least I know I've got something in there that's okay. So I'd rather have these ones than and know what's in them really than something like shop bought and I don't know what preservatives they put in those. There we go. Right, I'm going to show you what that looks like now. That's probably about as many as I'm going to get on the tray, otherwise they're going to spread. So here you go, that's what they look like, and I'm going to pop them in the oven, probably between sort of 11-12 minutes, that sort of time, and then I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay. Hi, well I've just taken the cookies out of the oven. I just wanted to show you what they look like when they come out. I mean, I prefer this sort of level, so they haven't spread too badly today because it was quite stiff with the mixture. And all you do then is get a palette knife or something to lift them off if they're boiling, and then slowly take them off and leave them onto a cooling rack until they're completely cold, and then they're just ready to enjoy. So I'm just going to remove those and ready for the next batch. I left these in a little bit longer actually than 12 minutes because I prefer them, as I said, a little bit more crunchy. Depends on your preference when you're eating cookies, so how squishy you prefer them. Oh, I love those, you can see. I'll just lift up this one to show you, it's very hot though. The amount of chocolate that's in that, and they're great big huge chunks so they don't tend to melt. Like sometimes when you put very small pieces in, it's going to melt in the actual mixture rather than leave you a chunk of chocolate. So I've taken that last one off of there, and I'm now ready to set up another tray to pop into my oven, and then once I finish them all, I'll show you them on the plate. Okay? Alright.